Okay, greetings everyone and welcome to the 105th edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach and I'm joined by Disney's number one hater, Jaden.
Hello. Call me on the yawn that time. Yeah.
I know, and I feel like I often do, you know? It's just a bad charm or something.
Yeah, being here is just such an effort.
Dude, it's so hard. And John Cena, the Peacemaker, Keeper of Children, Liam.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready to talk about some cinema, all right? Some Best Picture nominees, because this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Nightmare Alley, which opened in the US on the 17th of December, 2000. I went to say 2021. I went to go say 2021 and then realized I'd never say that. Who says that? You say 2021. Anyway, that year. It's directed by Jaden.
Guillermo del Toro.
Do the thing, Jaden.
Thank you, Jaden. I was so embarrassed last night. I was asked, who directs this film, Zach? And I was like, Guillermo. That guy. It's a drama thriller, and the synopsis says, a grifter working his way up from low-ranking carnival worker to lauded psychic medium matches wits with a psychiatrist bent on exposing him. Liam, what do you think of Nightmare Alley? Of course, a brand new film. All of our first-time viewings. So that's exciting. What do you think?
Wait, hold on. Jaden's just hanging up from his phone call. He's putting his headphones back on.
This is why I went to you first to cover up this.
No,
and
yeah,
you've exposed it.
I just wanted him to, hear every single word I say.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I thought it was really brilliant. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was really great. I think it's a really cold film, purposely cold, and purposely doesn't take you into the character's head. What's Bradley Cooper's name?
Stan.
He doesn't take. They don't. The film doesn't really take you into his head much, but it's very observational, cold, and I actually thought he was maybe a psychic, halfway through, but then later I kind of realized that. Maybe he isn't, just because he's so Bradley Cooper's so charming that I kind of believed it.
Wow, cool.
Nutty.
No, yeah. I just love the circus aesthetic and the I think it's very very akin to these cold directors Fincher or Kubrick, where it's very non-subjective viewpoint, just showing things, and it's a very cold film as well. It feels very misty and cold, and I just love the vibe and stuff, and I think it's pretty awesome. So
yeah, dude, all those nighttime shots in the carnival where it's there's mist rolling through the place. It just it feels freezing, man. I was glad I was in a heated room. What about you, Jaden?
I was blown away by it. Really, amazed. It doesn't feel like a Del Toro film, because there's nothing mystical or. I mean, obviously, you got this allusion to the mystical, but there's no, there's no greater creature or kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
So it never felt like I was fully into it, because I think I was always waiting for that angle of some kind of demon thing, but that's all right. No, I thought it was really fantastic. I remember last year when I saw the trailer, I said this feels like it could be his best film, despite his amazing filmography. And I think in terms of craftsmanship, I think it is. I think it's the most realized he's kind of had, because he doesn't go too big in the scale, but it's still awesome enough that he can really explore shit in the world. I love the story. I love the cast. I love everything about it. Really, really, really great.
Cool. Yeah, I liked it. I feel a bit torn on it, a little bit. It was an interesting ride. The setting, cinematography, production design and the acting had me all engaged from the start. Totally exceptional. All best in class efforts. The story takes a little while to get going, and or at least it took me maybe a little bit to get in sync with its rhythm. It's particularly until I think the 2-year time jump, that second act jump. I finally I started to click with it a little bit more. But I also feel like the film, not stylistically, aesthetically, or technically at all, but just in the story, it feels a bit flat. It sort of lacks any real tension or any sense of energy to it at all, like keeping you on the journey and sort of keeping you engaged, like with it to that next level. But I don't know, like it's also clearly a very thoughtful film, and I feel like there's a lot to sort of potentially get into thematically as well and discuss. So I like that about it. I feel like this conversation will form a lot more for me as we go. But I feel like I've got to
No
ask, like,
pressure.
how did you? What'd you say, Liam?
Oh, no pressure.
You got to convince me, bro. It's all on you. It's all on you. What the hell was your reaction to witnessing a chicken be eaten and torn in half?
Oh yeah, that was fun. I like the inclusion of the you know, the geek. Yeah, that's it, the geek.
The geek.
Because he was the kind of weirdest thing in the film, I guess. I agree with Jaden what he said about the like the trailer, because I think I even said here, like, I don't know what the movie's about. It seems like it's about like I'm a beast or something. I don't know if Bradley Cooper's the beast or like what's going on. And like, yeah, as I said, I even thought that Bradley Cooper was a psychic most of the time, just because it kind of leaves the part where he like learns from the book like pretty ambiguous, and also he like is able to tell what was in Kate's purse, which I thought was like kind of, when he gave the reasoning for why he knew what it was, I thought he was bullshitting then, and not like, I thought his whole thing was trying to hide his power basically. What was your question? Oh yeah, the chicken thing. Yeah, that was pretty gruesome.
You took it in a way more interesting direction than my question ever intended.
Well, I like the gruesome elements of it. Like Willem Dafoe is like the
oh yeah, dude.
You know, he's the grimy kind of corrupt. He's not corrupt. He's like, you know, he's quite sussy. He brings people in, and oh well, he does do that with the gig. Like he like literally captures them and stuff. But also, well, he gives other people opportunities, so he's not fully bad. But he's a weirdo. Is the point, and like so is like, you know, the babies and the jars and shit, and the geek. There's enough like weirdo details that are really great, and obviously in every circus film you got to have, you know, a dwarf. So that's good.
That's right. Wow. Yeah, that's absolutely right. What about that snake man that did the flexible thing? Remember that when he like twisted it on himself? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fucked. I hated that.
I hated that so much. Yeah. I hated it too. Thank you, Liam. I couldn't stand that. I'd pay money never to see that again, just because it was so awful.
And then Rooney Mara's like smiling and happy.
Dude, that was terrifying. But no, there is a scene in this movie where Willem Dafoe explains in detail the step-by-step breakdown of how to manipulate a human being and take them as a slave. You know? So there's no doubt that he's a quirky dude, you know? There's no doubt about that. But I will say, in terms of your experience watching it, I never once got from the film that Bradley Cooper had powers, or that he was trying to hide them. And I wish I did, because I don't know if that was the intent. If it was, it didn't play for me. And I feel like that would have made the film more interesting to me, because yeah, the whole time I felt like, again, really interested in a lot of the technical stuff, but I sort of just felt like I was so obviously just watching this failure of a human being Stan, like just continue to get himself in deeper shit, essentially. And it was that's sort of what it was the whole time. So if it had that extra element of like, wait, is there a bit of ambiguity to it? Like, maybe there is something to what he's doing. I never felt that. So I sort of wish I did. I don't know if you felt any aspect of that, Jane, maybe in certain scenes and not, because it is sort of, he plays with it a few times.
Yeah, I never felt like it was actually like a genuine psychic or whatever, because there's no such thing, because, you know, they're all fucking bullshitters and liars and scammers.
Whoa.
Yeah, fuck you, Theresa May, Long Island Medium.
What?
Shout out.
No, I didn't feel like it was actually powerful, but I don't. That wasn't an aspect I needed to keep engaged. I thought that mystery that they opened up with, him burning the house and the body in it was enough to keep me invested because I did want to know what exactly was going on with that. And I think there was enough little things throughout to keep me engaged constantly. And despite the fact that we're shown that Stan is not he's not a terrible guy, but he's not a good guy by any means. I mean, it's kind of terrible. But I still wanted him to win. I still wanted him to come out successful from that, and I wanted him to work out with Rooney Mara, and I wanted all that to be, fine. But unfortunately not.
No.
But no, yeah. So in terms of like, you mentioned like the tension was lacking for you, or like some of that shit. But, like I just feel like the small mysteries they set up and like the bigger lasting mysteries kind of fulfilled me.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the opening was really strong. In choosing to open on that house and burning it down, and I love that shot where he sort of just walks away and it's burning behind him. I love that. But
you see, when I thought that going into this, I thought that Bradley Cooper was a detective. I don't know why. I just thought he was.
He sort of looks like he might be.
Yeah, so that's why like for like the first like half an hour, I just thought he was like, and like especially like when he first showed up to the circus and he tries to like integrate with them, like I was like, oh, so he's like going undercover to like search up like the dodgy beast or whatever this is,
That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it didn't turn out like that. But I think it's fine how it kept on going. Yeah.
So the thing with the house, am I just correct in understanding that's like he killed his dad, or he let his dad die at the very least, and then just burnt the house and left? Like, is that?
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah.
Well, I think just like letting the cold from the window like kind of
kill him.
Accelerated his death. Yeah.
That was messed up, dude. Yeah, when he took the blanket.
Took the blankie. Yeah.
He took his dad's blankie. Yeah. That was genuinely like messed up, man. I was like, dude, don't do that. Yeah. I don't know. I guess, yeah, maybe. I think that actually probably is what it is overall that we've already hit on, is just that like it lacks that little extra dimension of like investment in Stan as a character, because to me it was just so obvious the whole time that he's just fucks. Like this is not going to work out well for him. He's constant deception and he's constant bullshit and completely in over his head with some of this shit, which like is entirely the point. Like that's what is her name Mary? Yeah. No, it's not Molly. Sorry. Which is that conflict that he has with Molly the whole time. And she's totally right, obviously. So, but seeing that evolve was cool. Like in retrospect, it took me a while to get into the carnival scenes. They look amazing. But just in terms of like, it felt like there was no plot at all. Like it was sort of just, I felt like I was just watching Day in the Life of Bradley Cooper hanging around a carnival, which all served as character building, which was cool. So then that's why then we got the 2-year time jump. And from there, like when they're doing the shows, using the technique, like Pete and Tony Collette's performance. I don't know what you call it. Is it just an act? Is that what we'd call it? I don't know. Their shtick, doing their technique there. That was cool. I like that because it was cool. Those scenes were just cool to see them, how far they've come since the carnival, but then also to see like Bradley Cooper's obsession with the book and with the technique was like really clear and was sort of already playing on this like this feels dodgy. Pete's telling you not to do this, and it's very clear that like Pete was an interesting character because it was really clear that he knew what the negative implications of doing this were and lying to people and tricking them and giving them comfort like that.
I thought that was more of like Pete warning him against like the power, the fact that it's like real, and that would have like a mental toll on you, because at the end of Pete's life is like drinking and everything. But I mean, I guess that makes more sense in like a real sense. Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah. I wish either my brain worked differently or the film leaned into it more, one or the other, because that does sound cool. That sounds interesting. Yeah, it was sort of just, to me, it sort of just played like Pete was well aware that this path of manipulating people for a living and doing this as sort of a craft, as an art in quotes, as Jaden has clearly called it out for what it is. And it's sort of going down that road as your career is just, and using it to profit and manipulate people is just, not ultimately not fulfilling and is going to doom you. And that's sort of exactly what happened, But it was cool learning about that, though, actually. I just enjoyed learning about spending some time in the time period, in the setting, and learning about some of these like tricks and shit. Because I assume like that technique might be a real thing that people did in terms of like memorizing the two-way communication of it. I thought that was really cool. Like I've never even thought of that, but it was clever. What are your thoughts on Bradley Cooper, though, Jane? Did you find his performance strong? Were you as charmed by him as Liam was?
Oh well, clearly not as charmed because he thought he was actually like a magic man, but
Yeah, dude, he was real convincing.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, no, like I thought it was great. A very enigmatic performance, I'd say. Just draws you in and keeps your attention. I felt like. I don't know. Bradley Cooper tends to do that, though.
He does. He's very good. He was very hard to read in the film overall, which I think it speaks to what Liam was talking about for sure. Like where I don't know. I never really got a sense of like how bad he felt about what he was doing. Which I kind of liked. Like it wasn't this obvious, I know what I'm doing is terrible, but I just have to keep doing it for money. Like it was just sort of his motivations weren't always entirely clear, and that's what made it interesting.
The thing is, I don't think he ever really felt guilt for what he was doing. I think he only like
it didn't feel that way.
No, I think he only threw that on for like when he was around Rooney Mara, but like otherwise he was alright with it.
Right. Why should he have felt guilt? I mean, he wasn't doing shit that was that bad, in my opinion.
I mean, he was putting a dead guy's wife, a guy's dead wife in front of him, and like convincing him that like it's really seedy.
Yeah, at the end, yeah.
It's really seedy and scummy, the entire business, and like Pete warns against it. Is like, don't do spook shows. Like what they do enough is already fucking stupid, but like you don't do that shit. And like it's what he's been told the entire time, and like he goes against it, and like it's not good,
Okay, I agree. Like the stuff at the end is bad with the wife, but like I think the shows he does, where he like
oh yeah, like they're fine, like just put on a bit of a show for idiots that believe in that, but like
yeah,
but like when he goes to like do those personal readings, and like he goes to that guy's house and he's like, oh yeah, your son says that we'll be together again or whatever. And leads him into a double suicide. Well, not like murder suicide, I guess, but
Yeah. The whole, this to me is the most interesting aspect of the film to think and reflect on is the morality of, I guess, I don't know, whatever, spook shows, psychics, believing in them or not is sort of irrelevant to this in a way, because it's this exact conversation where it's just, I don't know, I disagree. I feel like doing all of it is terrible, as is presented in the film of it, assuming, I don't want to trigger Jane, but assuming it's fake, you know what I mean? It's all this terrible thing, in my opinion, because it's a slippery slope. Like you can't do that like show in front of the group of 50 people or whatever it was, and pretend that you feel their long dead brother or some shit next to you, and then but it's only bad then if you bring in Rooney Mara to go and as an actress and then take it to that next level. Like it's all just psychological trauma. Like it's terrible, and to prey on that. But the film discusses that in an interesting way. That's just my perspective, but it presents multiple interesting viewpoints where it's like Pete says you can't lie to people like this, but then there's a counter argument that you're bringing them closure. Bradley Cooper makes the point that he saved their marriage, and for a second you're like, oh, that's cool. He saved that judge's marriage. Good for him. And then they kill themselves, or she kills him and then kills herself. And he did as a direct result of what he did. Like he did that, So it's this. I don't know. It's sort of complicated because that's not to say that. Obviously, that's totally messed up, but it's not to say that everyone would necessarily react that way. So
yeah, but like I think the entire time Del Toro's framing the entire thing in like a pretty negative way.
Yes, I would agree. Yeah, especially with how it ends up with them killing themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a crazy scene. That was really cool.
I feel like in terms of giving comfort for the dead, though, like, what do you think of preachers then, or like, what do you think of religion?
He makes that argument too. Yeah, Bradley Cooper makes that argument in the movie, doesn't he?
Does he?
He says that. Yeah, he says preachers do this every Sunday. What he's doing.
Yeah, especially in that time, like people really believed in that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, but like, do preachers? I'm not familiar enough with like, especially what they were like in those days and stuff. Like, do preachers like claim that they feel people literally right there and shit? Like, do they do that? They provide comfort, I understand, and a spiritual belief beyond the realm of our existence. But
Oh yeah,
is
I
it
think
so?
there used to be people like that. Like in There Will Be Bloody. What's his name?
Oh
Eli.
yeah, Eli
He does that.
Vizio. Wait, no, that's no, not Eli. Whatever. Yeah, it's Eli. Sorry, go for it.
Yeah, I mean he comments the. Oh, he claims to be able to beat arthritis. With the old woman. Like I'm pretty sure he says there's like these ghosts in the room and like spirits and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying like all religion is bad, but like
Yeah, no, those Southern Baptists are not either.
Yeah, there's definitely like breeds of this type of person that used to exist. Or still do, I guess. You're like give these false, which I guess is a bad thing. I guess they're all bad, like going to this extent, like saying dead person's in the room and that kind of thing when you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's a slippery slope. It's complex because I think the intent matters. But yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like enforcing, sort of giving. I don't know. Like in terms of religion, like giving people, like a foundation in their beliefs, in their belief system, and something to sort of look to themselves beyond our reality, like and sort of is supporting that. I find interesting, like supporting the idea and sort of giving people the comfort that there could be this heaven, they could still be out there, and giving people that comfort to then like for them to pursue that themselves. I find acceptable, but it's where do you draw the line? I understand that's sort of the thing, but then to me, on the other side of the line somewhere is this idea of they're standing next to you, they're holding you now, they're speaking to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting, but yeah, that anywhere where you're like trying to very deliberately make up shit you don't understand under a false guise.
Nothing wrong with lying, Zach.
Lying whoa, all right, he's come out.
It's so good.
I guess that's like, isn't that the main difference though? Like, preachers actually believe what they're saying, but then like, Bradley Coopers and mediums know they're lying.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, deep down maybe, but I don't think like maybe they believe it, like in terms of like just maybe they like convince themselves to believe that part of it.
Yeah, but that's exactly what Pete was warning against. Is like he became a man that believed in his own, things, and like that kind of goes back to.
That's what he was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, because overall I totally agree, Jan, that it is the film definitely takes a negative. Like the film is not a piece where it's trying to present all the arguments and let the audience decide necessarily. I'm sort of taking things from it, but I think overall it's definitely has a negative perspective on what Stan does.
Well, did you read the trivia for the film?
Are you gonna bring up the thanking the mentalism people?
No, I was gonna say like how like Del Toro like based like these people like on like his own experience where like his dad got kidnapped in Mexico in like the 90s or some shit, and like the minute it happened, like there was like psychics at his door, and like they were trying to like weed their way into the family to get money, telling their mother like these half open truths, and like he hated them from that moment. So like he was never really going to paint him in a fair light. He was always going to have a negative angle on him.
Well, that sounds totally valid. That sounds like, by the way, incredible trivia. Which was it on IMDb? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
How long did you have to scroll? Because I was disappointed with the trivia, and that sounds
there's like 40 something entries, isn't there?
Oh, I didn't scroll all the way. I'm not doing that.
No, don't you? I got through all of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that sounds awesome. But that's another interesting angle. I was just going to actually bring up the fact that I did see that there was a thank you card in the credits to, what are they called again? Mentalism people. I don't know what they're called.
Cunts.
Yeah, those people. There was like a thank you card for like them consulting on the film and stuff. So my point is that I didn't know if the film was literally trying to take, which to Jaden's trivia it might be, trying to take a point of view of it being like, this shit is fake, and that is the film's stance, and this shit sucks. Don't believe this shit. And I wasn't entirely convinced that that's what he was getting at until maybe now.
It's the 7th entry.
Oh, I missed it. Oh well. Cool.
I think there's more to, I don't know, the point of the film or whatever. I guess like Bradley Cooper wanting to escape his father's fate and like make something of himself.
Oh, there's definitely an angle there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the whole breaking down of the word never as well. Like in the first meeting with the psychiatrist, and then like as it keeps on going, like
yeah, like it seems like there's a lot of history, and
it really annoyed me seeing him go down that path of like, because I think up until that point I was convinced that he was an okay guy until he started breaking his creeds, like until he has
until he took that swig, yeah,
and then after that it just gets worse and worse, and like
right.
It's really interesting seeing him, because even after that I still had the thought that he was intelligent to some degree, but then at the end when they put him in that new Carney trailer and like he's like, yeah, I need you to play a geek, I thought he was gonna like, like obviously it wouldn't work as well because like it would be a rejection of like kind of like the path that the character's going down. But like I was really hoping he'd say, no, I know what you're doing or something like that. He'd be aware or some shit like that. But the fact that he jumps onto it, I mean, like I guess it fits with the whole breaking down a man thing.
Well, I think like that's what's so haunting about the film, because you never get an insight into Bradley Cooper's mind in terms of like a narration or anything or a subjective point of view. But like it's like, if you think about it, like the whole film, he could just be like resisting, a bunch of bad urges, and could be like really, not mentally okay, and he's really like trying the whole time, and then just at the end he has like a total collapse. It kind of becomes like what he is, I guess, or like what he like, what his psychology is like. Was previously. I mean, he like killed his dad, kind of, so I'm sure he does. He has some issues that he's trying to prevent the whole time. And like becoming a con man is like the best way for him to try and make something of himself, but obviously it doesn't work out.
Doomed to fail. Yeah, that thing was particularly haunting. Yeah, because I interpreted that whole thing as him becoming his father, essentially, and this idea that no matter how hard we try, which having watched the film, knowing what Stan did, he tried real hard. But no matter how hard we try, this idea that we can't sort of escape, I don't know what you want to call it, like our upbringings or the generations above us, and their choices and all that sort of stuff. Like that's messed up. That's crazy.
Well, like also, it kind of becomes three different like characters who are all like warnings that we see at the start of the film, like his dad, the guy we were talking about earlier gave him the book, Pete, and also like the geek, I guess, because he literally becomes a geek. So like they're all kind of like weird warnings that are like looming in the background at the start of the film, and then he kind of succumbs to like alcoholism or whatever, and gives up, kind of, or is kind of forced to give up, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting that the radio came around in the end. Like, like that radio he had to start, and he parted ways with Willem Dafoe, and then it's happened to be sitting in that caravan at the end, and like, I think seeing that is what tipped him over, kind of the edge.
Oh, do you mean the baby or like an actual?
No, like behind the baby was a radio. Like how like when he first meets him, and Willem Dafoe's like, I'll buy that radio for $5.
Oh, I totally forgot about that, dude. That's awesome.
So that radio was sitting in the thing at the end.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I feel like that's kind of what's just pushes him that little bit further.
That's nuts. What about, because when that whole scene is the ending's crazy. Like, I think it's very good. Like the whole spiel that the dude gives him about, it'll just be temporary. Like exactly what Willem Dafoe taught him, and he's 100% knows what's happening.
Yeah.
He starts laughing. It's like, God, it's just fucked. It's just crazy. Yeah, it was quite effective. Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know. There was something to the whole baby in the jars thing too, right? Like there was something there. I feel like a
What was it?
symbolism.
It was Enoch. Is that the name of the baby? And like you were saying, like that it's killed
Yeah,
its mother in childbirth or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know. We can work something out.
It was a messed up baby.
Oh yeah, didn't Carlisle's wife, not Carlisle, that's Bradley Cooper. Didn't that bloke that he was like trying to conjure up the wife she died in like miscarriage?
She did.
Yeah, so like I don't know, there'll be like a link there or some shit. And like I think doesn't he even
Yeah,
reference that?
yeah.
Doesn't he reference Enoch or something like to the guy?
I don't recall that.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's interesting. I think there's something to it. Like I feel like it's very deliberate placing. Obviously, it's totally crazy symbolism and it's just a crazy visual in general. I didn't know if the Death Stranding connection was like deliberate or not, but it sort of stood out to me. But maybe I don't know. Maybe there's something to that in terms of that idea of being like from birth, like being born. Like I don't know I don't know how to say this without sounding like weird, but like our destiny is being predetermined. Like this idea that Bradley Cooper was destined to fail. Like in this idea that these babies were destined to never live. Like I feel like there's something there to it where everything is sort of our own choices are sort of again affected by what happens. Sort of the choices made by the people above us, I guess. That was a crazy looking baby, though. Holy shit. And wait, so am I meant to... People came to see those. Are people paid to see them?
The babies, I think weren't they Willem Dafoe's personal collection?
What the hell was he collecting them for?
I don't know. A bit of a
Oh,
quirky
so
guy.
Bit of a laugh.
he wasn't even showing them off.
That was crazy. Oh my God, that whole thing. But I also, like, another slight aspect I enjoyed about the whole carnival thing and just spending time in that place was just, it's crazy to me, like, this wasn't even that long ago, like, the historical time period, and thinking that people, like, I guess people had nothing else. Like, people didn't have any sort of form of real other things to entertain them or to wonder about or to, you know, sort of pique their imagination in life. So, like, going to these weird ass carnivals and getting totally tricked by these, you know, by these crooks essentially is sort of like what people paid to do with their spare time. It's just,
Yeah,
I find that whole thing interesting. I don't know.
TV wasn't exactly what it is today. You know, you didn't have Doctor Who back in the day.
Yeah.
So.
That's right. They weren't far off though. They weren't far off.
Oh yeah, true.
Yes, I don't know. Like, I'm also just fascinated with, as humans, how we sort of spend our time and what we do and how we sort of entertain ourselves on our, you know, during our time on this earth. And it's just such an interesting thing. I don't know, like comparing that to today and how much that's changed. Like, I can't consider. I know people still go to like the circus and shit, but like, I don't know, that feels like more of a. It's presented differently. Like, no one goes to these things, you know, because we all have the internet. We all have sort of a different understanding of knowledge of truth that, you know, this shit's not real. You know, and we don't want to really even necessarily buy into it as much as we used to. So, sort of an interesting evolution there.
Well,
maybe.
it's more like athletics, isn't it? Like the circus these days.
Right,
Really
exactly.
magic.
Exactly. Yeah. No one. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a great way to put it.
Even like stuff like the Melbourne show and shit, like is kind of what you'd equate it to, I guess. But like in terms of like the rides that you have, but like you don't have like these kind of like the freak shows, you know.
No, it's totally different. Yeah, and I think it speaks to in some way how societally, culturally we've evolved in some way.
I think it's interesting as well that the film's set while World War II is occurring. So it's strange that it's funny that like Bradley Cooper picks up on like the sheriff never having served because like of his injuries, but like Bradley Cooper's like prime military age. He should be fighting. You know, he's a coward.
It's a great point. Is he the only character? Is he the only like male character who would be prime military age we see in the film? I think he might be.
Yeah, Ron
Like,
Perlman's
he's
probably
like-
a bit old. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like alone in his demographic. He has no one else his age or his is like
Yeah.
sex. Yeah.
That feels intentional. I think you're onto something, Jaden. Where, yeah, this guy, it says something else about him that we don't see it at all. It's not talked about, but this idea that this guy would avoid being enlisted or something, or not want to go. I don't know how the whole thing worked, but he is the only one. Like, there's no other character like that.
Mm.
Everyone else is over there fighting while he's here
Oh right.
trying to.
Everyone's out there. That makes sense. Yeah.
Everyone is goddamn storming the beaches of Normandy while this dude's back, like trying to like play foolish tricks on old men.
Did you see the conversion rate of what 10 grand would be today?
No.
So 10,000 USD per session is what that bloke told him he'll get. That's like, I think it was like 190,000 per session. In terms of like modern currency.
Wow.
I can imagine that. You'd work for 5 weeks and then like you never work again.
Yeah. What are some other actors we can talk about here? We talked about Willem Dafoe. He's great, of course. Actually, kind of a more minor role than I would have thought. Ron Perlman is in the film, as we learnt last week. And he is Ron Perlman. I like Ron Perlman, Jane. Has he won you over this time?
I mean, like, he's alright. He just does the same shtick, you know? I mean, like, he's Hellboy, you know? I mean, like...
He's Hellboy, yeah, it's pretty fair. It's pretty fair. I kept thinking until Cate Blanchett turned up, I swear to God she's in this movie. And she just took ages to turn up. I'm like, maybe she's not. Maybe I got her mixed up with Toni Collette. No, but she was in the movie. She's terrific, man. I can't speak highly enough. I feel like everyone knows. Like, Cate Blanchett is like a Meryl Streep level actor, in my opinion. Like, that is like S-tier actor. Like, she's just carries every scene she's in. She's great. Or what I did want to ask, though, is that her scenes in her office are interesting. Did we... Like, the synopsis literally says a psychiatrist bent on exposing him. Did you guys, like, know from the start that that's what she was trying to do?
No, I did not see that. I didn't read the synopsis.
See it either. Yeah, I didn't see it coming either.
Actually, I felt betrayed by her betrayal. I was like, oh, fuck, man. I was
like, you were hard on Stan's side here.
Yeah.
You were rooting for him. Yeah. I respect it. Yeah. I was in the synopsis. When I saw that, I'm like, either the synopsis just spoiled the movie or it was meant to be obvious. And I didn't think it was obvious. I thought the scene where she reveals herself, like where she says, doesn't she say, "I love you, Stan"? And then, did I oversell it?
Mm.
I was like, that's great. That was a good reveal there, and the whole thing following. There was just some really effective cuts in this movie overall. I like the cut when the lady shoots her husband. Really good. Also really good.
That scene actually felt a little jammed in. Like the
you think so?
Scene. Yeah, because it kind of like doesn't focus on them for a while, and then that just happens. Feels like something that was like done well in a book, and then doesn't translate in the film. I mean, I like that they did like. I like that they killed themselves in terms of what it means for the story.
Yeah,
but yeah.
No, I understand that, because then we do get like the Mindhunter man.
Oh yeah, Bill Tench.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I couldn't think of his name. When Tench hears it on the news radio.
The news radio as opposed to a normal radio.
That's right. Yeah, you buy a news radio. He hears it on the radio, and I was like, I mean, that was kind of weird, first of all. But yeah, I mean, maybe that would just leaving it that would make more sense. But maybe I feel like maybe they felt like the audience needed more than that. I don't know.
The thing is, I don't think Del Toro is a very subtle filmmaker. I think he likes showing what he has. You know, he likes using what he can. You know,
like in terms of events, right?
Yeah, and if you can show something visually, then why would you not opt to have it? I think it's kind of like the kind of thing,
right?
You know, it's a visual medium. You know, tell your story visually.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It wasn't an issue for me, but I understand that. I have that sort of complaint for other things all the time. So, and the other jump cut that was awesome was the one where we cut from Bradley Cooper's dad in the bed, hard smash into future him with a beard, lying in the bed. It transitioning into that final scene was super awesome. And I actually thought for probably about a minute, like as he was sitting around the campfire, that I couldn't recognize Bradley Cooper for a second. I thought I was watching like his dad younger, like because the way they cut.
Yeah.
But obviously, like I thought that's what was happening. Like I was taking it too literally. But obviously, I think actually what it's doing is that it's sort of just showing the similarity between them now. That he's basically become his dad, sort of thing. That idea. Yeah, he was unrecognizable to me with all the hair and stuff. It was nuts.
Hmm. I mean, I think the film like just moves like seamlessly. It's like edited really well. Like him learning, him like I guess his origin story, like becoming like a, you know, him learning about the tricks of becoming a mind reader. What was it called? What's the term for it in the film?
I keep asking the same question. I don't know.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like him doing his little hand gestures and like reading the book and like revising like the little intricacies of what you have to, I like the presentation of what you have to do, and then it gives you that scene, and then it just kind of cuts to something later. Like it tells you that he's pretty much like mentally committed to this thing, and then you don't really need any more information. I mean, the start of it is like him wandering around the circus, and I guess being a bit lost. But I mean, that makes sense in terms of him and the story and everything. So
Yeah.
it's kind of very quick, I guess. Like it's like very efficient in terms of like how it tells the story, how it says things.
Did you guys find it interesting that there was no dialogue from Bradley Cooper for like 12 minutes?
Yeah, I was actually laughed because like someone asked him a question. I think he nodded, and I was like, "Oh my god, are you gonna say something?" I thought that was hilarious.
It was like being a mute for ages. I was like,
Yeah.
it's an interesting direction, Del Toro. But then he did speak. He spoke a lot, so it was interesting. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe it did add some.
Because I guess he was
mystery to
hiding
it.
like.
That too, for
kind of
sure.
just, burned his house, killed his dad, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like characters kind of. I mean, this kind of goes into what you were saying about what I was saying about Kevin Blanchett. Like characters kind of read into him more. Like he doesn't pay that quarter with Willem Dafoe, and then suddenly Willem Dafoe's like, you can have a job. It doesn't matter where you've been and what you've done. And there's kind of a moment where he like recognizes that, and then also like Ron Perlman and the the Mindhunter Fight Club guy, he's like on guard against him as well. Like they're both there. There are some people who are like very on guard against him.
Yeah. Tench.
Phil Tench.
Phil Tench. Yeah, he was super alert. He was onto it.
He was on it, yeah.
He was so on it, yeah. He knew. Bradley Cooper was naked in that bathtub for 6 hours.
Do you think the water got cold, or do you think they kept it hot for him?
I really hope they kept it hot for him. I mean, I feel like he's like a megastar. I feel like you keep it hot for Bradley Cooper, This ain't no student film production.
Imagine how much you could make by selling Bradley Cooper bathwater.
I would actually buy that.
Yeah, but, like the film could make back its budget. Like honestly,
Fox was like, "Oh, we've lost a lot of money on this COVID and all this sort of stuff." They just weren't thinking outside the box enough. Had the solution, the bathwater, right there.
On that note, I'm just happy that this is like a fully fledged like Bradley Cooper protagonist film. Like Limitless.
Right.
Yeah. Because sometimes he plays like secondary characters and stuff, so it's good.
It's not a bad point, Liam. Actually, like, is he? Yeah, I've never really thought about it. I feel like he's often a co-star. Like he's often like one of two names in that.
Yeah,
league.
I mean, like Place Beyond the Pines is in that, but he's not really.
Yes.
He's kind of been not really.
Star is Born, same thing. Like it feels like he's always sharing it.
American Hustle.
He is the American Sniper though.
Yeah, American Snipers.
Good point. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. That's an excellent point.
Oh yeah, he's in Burnt and Aloha.
And Aloha.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I feel like I'd like Aloha. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's an excellent point as well. Yeah, he's great. Leonardo was meant to do this film, but
yeah, I'm happy he didn't.
Yeah, same. Take a back seat, man.
It's kind of sad. Like I want to see Bradley Cooper more protagonist, like fully fledged main guy stuff.
I mean, I think Bradley Cooper's an awesome director, so I'm just can't wait to see more from him in general. I know he's in Damien Chazelle's next film. I don't know if he's the protagonist or not. Final verdicts for Nightmare Alley, Liam.
9 out of 10. Banger.
Huge. Big 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Epic moment. Jaden.
Yeah, same. A massive 9 out of 10. Massive.
Just a monstrous 9 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely fucking gigantic.
I'll give it a 7. What's that?
Small dick 7.
Abysmal. Going to an ice cream shop and getting a kid's cup, 7 out of 10. It's a very good film. Check it out. Now let's get into news chat. Stop flowing. Stop messing with my flow. No, it's not your fault, but it's weird. Okay. Who watched the House of the Dragon trailer?
Not me. Sorry.
Chad, what did you think?
I thought it was quite good. I don't know. Looks like Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of worried how much Olivia Cooke had to do with it because she's not in the trailer much, but I thought she was going to be like a main character, so that upsets me. But I guess we'll see. Matt Smith looks awesome. Love him. Love that he's doing big roles these days.
He's the king, right? Like he's on the Iron Throne at the start.
Because it's hard.
Who do we start with?
It's hard for someone post Doctor Who to get like a big role, So like the fact that he's doing well makes me happy.
Well, you didn't think Peter Capaldi as the Thinker was a huge role?
I mean, Peter Capaldi was an established actor before he took on the Doctor, though.
Well, what about Matt Smith in Morbius, man? Come on.
Oh yeah, also massive,
Huge, yeah.
And he was in like Terminator Genesis as well, I don't know. It's Game of Thrones. It's Targaryens. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, same. I thought it was awesome.
Who's show running it? Who's doing this stuff? Because I actually don't know.
Yeah, it's the I think is his name David. You're gonna have to Google the names, but it's the guys who were the long-standing directors on the show, not the guys everyone hates, but the they had worked on the show for years as directors, sort of right underneath D&D, and they've been sort of elevated up. And this is all sort of George is more involved now in the writing process again, so. It's all good things, I feel like. I think I can't recall. We talked about this before, and it was the people who had directed like some of the best episodes of the show were now show running. So that's always exciting. I think, dude, I'm stoked for this show. I think it looks sick. I think even compared to, I felt spoiled watching this trailer and seeing the visuals because it just looks incredible. Like the production design, CG looks just next level, which is what you'd expect from Game of Thrones. But I don't know, like. Especially with
Paddy
sort of
Considine, what the fuck? Was he in the trailer?
Who?
Paddy Considine.
I don't know who that is.
He's just a British dude I like.
Oh, cool.
I don't remember seeing him.
Isn't he in The Gentleman? Isn't he
He's got like a blonde wig on that makes him look really weird.
Dude, it makes Matt Smith look really weird too.
Yeah.
It's cool. But I mean, especially compared to, I don't know, some other shows we've been getting lately, like these Disney Plus shows and stuff. Like, it was just cool to get a reminder of like what TV can look like, because holy shit, it looks incredible. Super high budget stuff. But yeah, I'm stoked. I'm excited. Like, the characters look interesting. This is the exact prequel I would have always wanted. Targaryen dynasty stuff. I think, to your point about Olivia Cooke, I feel like she's going to be a fairly significant character. I know, like, she's not a Targaryen, but I don't know, if you think about Game of Thrones, I feel like pretty much everyone's equally important, except maybe like there's a top 3 that are that next level important. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like Matt Smith's going to be that next level important, at least at the start. Because who knows what's going to happen.
She's got a second credit on IMDb, so like.
Oh yeah. I feel like she's going to be significant. She's going to be hanging around King's Landing, plotting something, probably. In the trailer, we got glimpses at Stark characters, Baratheon characters, those ancestors. So, dude, I'm stoked to like just get into the lore again of this world and experience a whole new story where I don't really know what's going on. But the thing I've also just got to be careful of is the fact that, obviously, like, the fate of these characters in terms of, like, who succeeds them and all that sort of shit is, like, all written in the lore. So, like, I've just got to be careful not to, especially as someone who likes diving into the books and all that stuff. I've just got to be careful not to spoil it for myself. And not just in the months ahead, but if this show runs for conceivably, say, like 4 or 5 years, I've got to be careful for the whole time. It's gonna be hard. So
Is that what it's going to be? I thought, is it not just like a limited series type thing?
Oh, I doubt it. No.
Yeah, okay.
I
Because
highly doubt it.
wasn't there like 4 of them planned, and weren't they all meant to be like only like 1 or 2 season runs?
No, we got no info on the length of the seasons, but there are more spin-offs planned. Yeah, and I expect this to go for seasons. Yeah. I think George's book that this is based on spans 20 years. So I don't know how far they'll go, but there's a lot of room there anyway. So, and the other thing is, like, I feel like I've read all the books, so I've probably read like exactly what happens to all these characters, like just in dialogue exchanges in the books, and I've just got zero recollection of it. So I just want to keep it that way for now. Are you excited to get some Matt Smith incest? That's what I'm excited for, dude. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, I hope he hangs dongs. He hangs dong.
My uni lecturer loves talking about incest. Talks about incest in literature as like the sexual liberation, like incest prohibition. Anyway, don't worry. Doesn't matter.
Hang on, when you say they love talking about it, like, how often does this come up?
I don't know, like when he was talking about this French thing that was totally irrelevant to the course, he kept talking about incest. Talking about like the importance of the incest prohibition and all this stuff. It's very interesting.
One of the main actresses is Aussie. That's nice. Yeah, sorry, I thought I just kind of
you thought you just changed the.
We're in so bad. Yeah,
but
I feel like that's probably not a bad thing given the nature of the subject. Man, oh man, we got the Obi-Wan trailer. Who watched that?
Not me.
I watched parts of it.
Oh man, come on. Nah, this is another trailer very similar to the first one. The show's literally less than 3 weeks away, so they just had to release another obligatory trailer, and I'm ready. I'm very ready. They are not spoiling anything.
Like what? You get the Obi-Wan trailer, and that's all.
Nah, you got a Book of Boba Fett making of special.
Yeah, I mean, like making of.
Which I watched. I love when they post the making of specials. But yeah, Obi-Wan's only 3 weeks away, so that's your belated present. Joel Edgerton had one line in this trailer, which he didn't speak in the previous one, so that's an upgrade. He did a very good Uncle Owen impression, I must say. All right, now it's time for our highlights of the week. Traden, what have you been watching?
Well, it's either Doctor Strange or Doctor Who. Which one do you want?
Is Liam going to do Doctor Strange?
I don't know.
Well, Liam might do Doctor Who because he's been watching that too.
Well, I feel like one of you's got to do one and one of you's got to do the other. But I don't know. I guess Jaden can go first and determine this.
We can share. I watched Doctor Strange. I feel like I've spoken about Doctor Who the past 2 weeks, so we'll move away.
I was actually going to rename this segment. Now it's time for our Doctor Strange.
Doctor Who. Yeah, fine. I'll talk about Doctor Who then. I've greatly slowed down on progress because I've been busy as fuck this week with schoolwork, but still grinding through it, keep going.
Yeah.
Where did I leave last time? I don't know, probably early season 6.
Yeah, exactly what it was. Yeah,
I think I'm like midway through season 7 now, which isn't really slowing down, but still,
that's a lot of progress. That's very good progress.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of fantastic shit. I think when I sent that list of recommendations, it's a lot of 10, and a lot of and I think one of Christopher Eccleston and like maybe like one Matt Smith, but like but I think like because like when 11 rolls around is when the show becomes far more serialized. Like it always has been. There's always been that kind of story that kind of goes through. There's always hints to it, references to it, and then leading to the final. But I feel like in the Matt Smith timeline is when you get a more like direct like kind of discussion about it throughout the season. And I think it's a good change. I think it is. I think having something that ties together in a more in a you know, something that ties it together in a more direct manner is great. While still remaining rather episodic, but it just means that, you know, it's not as accessible because there's like, you know, just a few things here and there that, you know, aren't going to make sense to the casual viewer. That's why I scratched those 2 episodes that I recommended originally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What was a favorite episode that I watched in this past bit? Probably The Angels Take Manhattan. It's
Wait, the same angels?
I don't know if it's the same species. I don't know if it's the same
So
angels.
they're a recurring thing.
Yeah, they
cool.
became a fan favorite after Blink, and they've brought them back.
Cool.
A few times. Yeah.
They take Manhattan.
Whoa,
dude, that's
do you know
sick.
how many statues there are in Manhattan? Oh, dude.
Oh my god, dude! I've seen a Batman movie. There's so many. He stands on them all.
Yeah, that's really is just like this. It's one of the more dramatic beats that the show goes on. It really allows the actors to kind of, you know, act rather than be goofy. But it's just amazing. Just, you know, like one of the best new Who villains. One of the, you know, greatest storylines. While there was still like a really good, you know, like writer. I think Stephen Moffat wrote the episode, who's just one of my favorites of the writers in the show. Yeah.
Cool. Are you up to that point too, Liam? Are you in season 9, maybe?
Season 9. No, up to season 2. Episode 13 or 14. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that'd be Doomsday then, no?
I just finished Fear Her, which is the worst episode I've seen.
Okay.
I hate it. But yeah, Doctor Who's been. I feel like my Jane's thoughts on Doctor Who are kind of like evolved beyond, you know, our understandings. I need to actually watch the show like a few times to get to Jane's level. But no, it's great. Like I used to watch the Matt Smith episodes as they came out, and it was pretty much like my favorite show at that point. But then I guess when Peter Capaldi came in, I kind of fell off it. Probably not intentionally, but
it's because it's old and you just hate old people.
I was going to make the same joke. Yeah, you got me.
But yeah, Christopher Eccleston is actually pretty like great. Like I never really watched many of his episodes, but he was great. And The Parting of the Ways is a really great episode. But like when David Tennant came in, I was like, you know, a wave of emotion just came through me because he's so much better, you know, than Christopher Eccleston. I mean, like, he's great, but in terms of charm, I guess, I feel like Tennant is better, and also then Matt Smith is, you know, even better than him. He's like my favorite, so, you know, series just gets better. But yeah, I don't know. It's great. I watched, you know, the Satan Pit things, and then Dalek is great, and I really like Fear and Monsters. You know that one?
It's funny that so many people don't like that one, but like when I rewatched it, like I was like, it's kind of cute, this one, you know?
Yeah, I like the guy. Like I like the vlogger character.
The ghost from the bathroom in Hogwarts is there too.
Yeah.
Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah,
that was my favorite character.
I actually watched Green Street Hooligans because he was in it. I was like, I want to watch more of this guy.
Oh, dude, Green Street Hooligans is so good.
Yeah, it's really good. It is really good. Elijah Wood's really great in that as well. Charlie Hunnam. I'm a Charlie Hunnam fan now. I want to watch more Charlie Hunnam.
Dude, you get so much of him in Sons of Anarchy. You never not. You get enough for a lifetime, bro. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know. I see that. This is what I mean. I have to watch it, you know, the whole series a few more times to have, you know, intense, you know, proper thoughts about it. But like Jane does. But
I remember like the way that I consumed the rest of the series was that on Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. Sci-Fi used to run 5 episodes back to back. So like I just like would just watch that every Saturday morning for like 2 years, and you watch the series like 4 times. So yeah. That's how to do it, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Can you imagine, like, you know, sit in front of a TV station on time? You know, such a foreign concept. It's so weird.
Prehistoric, yeah.
100%.
But yeah, it's great and everything else. So.
What's your favorite episode so far?
I think the only known I have is... I think I have 2 no's. I think Parting of the Ways is one of them. I don't know if I have another one, but... Parting of the Ways... I mean, Dark is obviously great. Great episode. I actually really liked, like... a Christmas special for some reason. And, like, the first episode...
Yeah.
Just with Rose and, like, the Doctor, like, starting out. But... Rose and, I mean, the 10th Doctor starting out. But, yeah, I don't know. That's all pretty great.
Did you like the girl in the fireplace?
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite episode. Yeah, that was the other night. Yeah.
That's one that I recommend to Finny. And Dalek as well. So, give them those ones.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Okay. All right. What about Doctor Strange, though?
He can get fucked.
No?
I mean, we both talked about Doctor Who.
Oh, I thought that was like just, it was yours. And then Liam contributed to yours. Oh, it's fine. You don't have to talk about it.
Okay, yeah.
Doctor Strange was good. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
It's funny because I ended up going with my mum, and she hasn't seen any of the other Marvel movies, but I think she came out liking it more than I did, so that was good.
Oh, did you say you had to go with your mum? Is that the one
you had to?
Huh? No, I didn't have to, but I ended up going with my mum.
Oh, I thought that's what you said, though. Okay, yeah, that's all good.
I think.
It's all good.
I don't think I said it.
Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. I'm not
You
sure.
had
I
to.
ended up going.
You were just forced to.
Yeah. That's funny. Liam, have you finished the last 20 minutes of Euphoria or what, bro?
Oh, no. But do I have to?
Oh, it's so
I mean,
hard.
I basically watch all the show. It doesn't matter. If something happens in the last 20 minutes, just tell me and then I'll watch it.
Okay.
It's fine.
I get the impression you don't like it, which is hence why you haven't watched the last 20
The
minutes.
last episode was, up to that point, pretty bad.
But really? And you felt that about the season?
Not the whole season. I mean, there were some really amazing episodes. Like, the first episode was like, was a 9. That was amazing. It was, like, fucking intense.
It's very good.
And when Rue's, like, running around all the shop from the police.
Episode 5 is incredible, yeah.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, it's incredible. But, like, also, that season as a whole is, like, really messy and, nowhere near the first season in terms of focus or characters or anything. I mean, Jules is basically absent from this season. There's far too much emphasis on Maddie and Nate, or whatever his name is, like their relationship and shit, and a bunch of problems like that.
Interesting. I saw that a lot. I was reading some of the Euphoria subreddit, which I've never done in my life, and I was like, I sort of just want somewhere to go to get other people's community experience of the show, and a lot of people felt that way. That like in terms of just allocation of runtime to characters was off, like screen time, like, and I get it for certain characters. I don't know. I thought season 2 was definitely a step up from season 1 for me. I thought it was great. I really, really enjoyed it overall. And I know, like, I think it's a testament to the experience of watching the show. It's a total trip, but I thought the last episode was awesome. And so, oh, dude, I love how, like, I think I sat here, I don't know, whenever it was a few weeks ago when I was talking about the show, and I was like, Rue is an irredeemable character to me. She sucks. She's terrible.
Don't say she's better in this season, because you're an idiot if you say that. She's so much worse this season than the last, and so much less empathetic. Just don't say it, bro.
I wasn't.
Don't.
I wasn't. What? Don't. I don't think I was going to say that.
Okay, good.
I'm not also going to make any comparison to season 1. I was just going to say that by the end of this season, by the final shot of season 2, I was like, God damn, dude. I like Rue and I care about Rue.
Dude, how?
And
that's what I'm saying. How can you like her more after season 2? That makes no sense, bro.
But yeah, dude, you have to make it to the end, dude. I'm telling you, you have to. And I'm not saying it's going to. I'm not giving you a strong stance here. I'm not convinced that the last 20 minutes is going to change your mind. But the whole experience of season 2 for me, for sure, took me on that trip of like, Rue sucks ass to Rue is, I'm behind you, Rue. I got you back. You know what I mean? And I thought that achievement was absolutely worth noting and was very strong TV, in my opinion. I thought it was great. What do you like about it? What's going on?
No, I like Rue. I just don't understand how you can watch season 2 and then feel more empathetic.
It's the last two
towards her.
episodes that do it. It's the last 2 episodes that do it.
The last 2 episodes. I mean, maybe I watched the last 20 minutes, but I don't see anything else that is there.
It's the whole. It's the whole like thematic end of the season. That's what it. 100%. That's all. It's all it achieves. You know.
Isn't the last 2 episodes about like the plane, like not really related?
Yeah,
to
but that's what it.
Rue?
Yeah. But you got to get there. It's what it achieves, bro. That's the whole. Ends up being the point of it. Ends up being the point of it.
Okay, the point. Yeah, okay.
Dude, but you didn't like the play. The play was sick.
Oh yeah, but then like that was like this second last episode, but like the last episode.
It was
What's
both
even
episodes.
happening? I can't even remember.
It was part. Yeah, it was still the whole the play. The whole last episode. This whole thing.
But didn't it devolve into just like randomness or like? Oh no, it was like about Fez and something like that with Fez. I don't know.
Fight me.
No, he's fully founded it. Dog shit show.
Thanks, Jane. I feel like I need to invite Sam Levinson to paintball next week, and we can shoot it out. You know what I mean? I just thought I also find. I mean, I always find it. I always see the humor in like the credits of anything being like created, written, directed, and produced by someone. I just find I find the humor in that so funny. Like I love like when the final credits of something that you don't like and it just hits like that. Like you know who to blame if you don't like something. You know, it's like not hard. I feel like that's like everyone who doesn't like Euphoria season 2. It's like wow,
Isn't
it's
Sam
not hard.
Levinson like a massive nepotism baby?
I don't know what that means.
Like the only reason he's got a job is because of nepotism.
I don't know. Who is he? Who's he
There's a lot of
related to?
people in Hollywood.
I think isn't his dad Barry
Levinson.
who's someone famous?
Oh yeah, the filmmaker. Yeah, he's a director. I never knew they were related. That makes way more sense. Yeah, but isn't that just like half of Hollywood though?
Yeah, but like he's kind of like the most egregious case.
Oh no! Oh, dude,
Because like
he makes an awesome show. In my opinion.
Because like if you look at like Assassination Nation and like Malcolm and Marie.
Oh, let's not do that again. I feel like Sam Levinson's going to become like the most controversial creator on this show. Like we're all just going to like brawl about him every time he comes up and everything he makes.
I mean, I appreciate his existence for season 1 of Euphoria and some episodes in season 2 of Euphoria.
Sure.
So I'm glad nepotism exists. Yeah.
Isn't it? I'm also glad nepotism exists. Isn't it? Isn't it? You saw the irony in that, didn't you? Isn't it funny how like our perceptions of season 1 and 2 are flipped? Isn't that funny? Because I always took the stance that the season 1 ending was lame.
Season 1 ending.
You're
insane. Season 1 ending is amazing. It's one of like the best endings.
I've always said it. And we've always debated that, and I love that debate. But yeah, isn't it?
It's like the conclusion of their relationship. It's like the best thing, It's awesome.
Yeah, but it's not though, is it? It's not the conclusion, is it?
Well, I don't know how much we can spoil. Is Jane ever going to watch the show? I don't know. It seems pretty.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to spoil anything. It's not the conclusion. This is season 2. This is season 2.
I've seen the first episode, and like through TikTok, you see enough anyway. So like,
through TikTok, you just can share.
As always, now we hand the show over to you guys. This is going to be somehow even worse. With our question of the show, last week we asked you, what is the worst nightmare you've ever had? Oh man! If only we just.
By the way, we can't. Oh. You can't mention the Death Star thing. We will. We discussed that. You can't mention the Death Star, bro.
Oh no, that's definitely not my worst nightmare.
Banned answer. Okay, good. I'm glad. God help this show. Aiden said, I remember one I had when I was like 6. Scared the shit out of me at the time. I was being haunted by the thing that was kind of in the shape of Mike Wazowski and was wearing a hat. And I was stuck in this endless maze of heavily graffitied train tunnels. Stuck with me even though it ain't that scary. Dude, it sounds scary, as I said. Also, the other week I had a dream that Geelong flooded, a la the ending of The Batman, and I drowned painfully, then came back to sitting in classroom listening to a physics lecture. Can you imagine being regenerated into a physics class? That's the worst part.
No, I think... Doesn't he mean he fell asleep during physics? Isn't that what he was saying?
Oh, yeah, right. That also makes sense, yeah. If the yeah, okay. That's probably what you meant, Aiden. I apologise. But to me, waking up in a physics lecture is also a nightmare. Andy said, I once had a dream where I was a digital media lecturer at Deakin. I was actually the chair of that course or something like that, by the way. And then I murdered my wife. Also, I remember there was that one kid, one of the hosts on Cinema Effect, claimed to have watched one of my lecture videos, so he's going to have to watch out. But thankfully, this is all just my quote-unquote worst nightmare, and none of this actually mattered in the universe we are living in right now. Of course not. P.S. I don't think our international subscribers have a clue what's going on. Andy, first of all, there are none. And second of all, I don't think they'd have a clue. I don't think anyone has a clue, regardless of if you're international or not. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was the
Join
first time
Discord.
that was the first time I heard about it. And I thought he was just taking the piss out of, like, you know, just Deacon. But then, like, I had to look at the someone else was talking about it as well, and I saw that it was like an actual thing. I was like, oh, fuck.
Dude, it was crazy. It was nuts. Definitely the highlight of my week. I should have talked about that instead of Euphoria. All right, Liam, what is the worst nightmare you've ever had?
Whoa. What's that static? Oh, it's gone.
You right?
Yeah.
I reckon it's your headphones, mate, because, like, whenever you say the static, I just don't hear it. Do you hear it, Zach?
No.
Oh, might be. Okay. Anyway, worst nightmare. Okay, so I used to have nightmares about two things: there's werewolves and scarecrows, which just stared at you. I think the worst nightmare I ever had was this thing was like half a guy from my primary school called Fraser, but he wasn't really, like, he looked nothing like him, but the idea of him was, you know, this Fraser guy who stole my fucking girlfriend. No, anyway. Basically it's just like looking at I'm looking at, like, the stairs, like a wooden stair in, like, a modern building. And you can't see all the stairs. I'm not looking down. I'm, like, at the side. There's, like, railings, so you can't, like, see. You know, you can see a couple steps, but not really. It's basically just this werewolf, like, walking up the stairs and just looking at me. And I can't really escape. Pretty much it.
So where are you situated?
So I'm, like, kind of at the side, and then the stairs are, like, there's kind of a wooden thing blocking it. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't see the whole stairs. You can't see all the way down.
Okay.
But he's just, like, walking up. And his, like, head's turning or some shit. I don't know. But it was kind of paralyzing. So
Okay.
that's what I remember.
All right. That's good. That does sound
Yeah.
scary. That'd be scary if I had that now, to be real. Jaden.
No,
are
you can go
gonna take
next.
it?
I want to feel it out and see, like, what direction I should go with.
No, I don't want you to feel it out. I want you to just go with your instinct here.
No.
No, mine's pretty underwhelming, to be honest. I feel like I often have. I don't know that often. I don't know, like maybe like once a month. I sort of wake up startled by something, but I never really remember what it is. I had this recurring thing years ago where I'd be in these variety of scenarios that I can never remember, like, specifically, but they'd always end in me, like, being thrown out of the sky. I think one time, I remember one time it was a helicopter, like being thrown. It's so bizarre, being thrown out and, like, falling miles into the ocean and slowly drowning. Like, that is a recurring one. But it was weird. Like, the events were always different leading up to it, I believe. But they'd always end that way. So that was kind of odd. It's also weird because I have, like, zero fear of drowning at all. So it's not even like preying on like a weakness or whatever, or preying on a fear of mine there. So I don't really understand it at all. But who understands any of these things? Now I'm really scared, Jaden.
Like a suffocation or like a crushing feeling, like an overbearing pressure, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what that would have been in grade 3, but, you know. Now, Jane, I'm scared you're going to, like, take it a step down after what you've heard. That's my concern.
Well, yeah, because, like, you know, look, I very rarely remember this shit, and, like, super recently, I 5 months ago is when, like, I had one, and it was, like, really, it was genuinely terrible, like, and, like, probably, like, the worst thing I've had. But I don't know if I want to expose myself on that degree.
Oh, you don't have to.
Yeah. But then, like, the other shit, the only other one I remember is, like, from, like, childhood. And it's kind of shitty. It's just, like, big skeletons in, like, a shopping center, like, that were chasing me. I was like, you know, we either go down, like, you know, the playful childhood route, or, like, you know,
What's it like about, like, roughly?
It's obviously about me dying and how traumatic that was for you, obviously.
Well, it's funny because like you're not far off. Like it's about one of my friends dying.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And like it was just such a horrible experience. Like it was just fucking like, yeah, I don't know. Like it was someone like, you know, someone I'm close friends with, but like I never considered them like I don't know. It made me reevaluate and like appreciate my friendship with them far more. And like to the point where I next saw them, I was like, yeah, I appreciate you. You know, I was like,
That's good.
Like, you know, like, but it was fucking terrifying. Like I just fucking woke up shaking and like it was horrible.
That sounds terrible. That's good though. That's nightmares having a positive real world effect right there.
Hope it means it doesn't die soon though. I mean, like,
yeah, well, it's not an omen. I hope not.
Yeah.
Liam's pondering who it is right there. I saw him doing it. As always, we'd love you to submit your questions, thoughts, reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comment section. Send us a DM on Instagram or join the Wild Discord server. This week we're asking you nothing because we didn't talk about it beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do an episode next week. Friday, maybe. Yeah.
But whatever, no, but just the next episode. We need a question regardless, you know?
I suppose.
What's it? Top Gun related?
What's your favourite gun?
What's your favorite model of jet plane?
Who's your favourite Tom Cruise wife?
That's actually not bad. That's not bad at all. What's like 3 options?
And we can encompass real world and film roles if we want, just to sort of broaden the answers.
Yeah, I feel like real world answers are only probably a bit more fun though.
How many are there though?
Like 3, right?
I think there's 3. I don't know her. I know it's Katie Holmes and
Nicole Kidman, and I think there was just one other one, wasn't there?
I only know of those 2.
Oh, we'll have a really interesting
debate between Katie.
Yeah.
The question is literally at this point just Katie Holmes versus Nicole Kidman. There's nothing else to it. All right, fine. Favorite Tom Cruise wife? Oh God, is he seeing someone now? I don't know. Is he with someone?
I don't know. I mean, church is all you need.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. When you got the aliens with you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we've got an answer poll still. Oh my God, this thing's still going.
I forgot what I was going to say.
So I'm actually going to sort of do, I don't know if this is like cheating or something, but like I'm just going to ask, like, have you guys seen Minari?
Yeah.
No.
Have you guys seen Wind River?
No.
My nomination will be Wind River. Then.
Don't you remember that Liam saw Minari while eating a hot dog?
Yeah, a hot dog.
Pivotonian.
Oh, that's right.
A village.
Hot dog.
Yeah. My nomination is Chinatown, from like 19 something.
Oh no.
That's on Stan.
Chinatown.
So
19 something. That's a broad range.
1974.
It's on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. He's,
wow.
He's prepped and ready.
Who's that?
Preparation. Who's that? Can you guess?
Oh, it's Jack Nicholson.
Yes,
Ah,
it's Jack Nicholson.
cool. I couldn't tell. Cool. Okay. Very good. Those are our nominations. Please vote on Instagram. I know what Andy's probably going to vote for, maybe. Oh, wait, no, it's not an Asian film, is it?
No.
Oh, that was a complete, really bad assumption. So anyway, I thought it might be like a cool Hong Kong film we like, but then I was like, Jack Nicholson, and it's got like the Godfather font, so it's definitely not that. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode of Cinema Effect. Thanks, Liam and Jan, for sharing your deepest secrets with us all. And we'll see everyone else next week. Take care and goodbye.